Hey there, hi there, ho there, vinyl community, and greetings. This will be a quick one. I just swung by Vinyl Solution a few days ago and picked up 4 interesting LPs that I thought I would show to you. And we will begin right now with the Bruford Tapes. Bill Bruford and his quartet. This is dedicated to Mazzy because I know he just can't get enough of the Bruf. This is a live recording done for the radio. Specifically WLIR in New York, recorded live at my father's place in Roslyn, New York. That's the name of the venue. It's nothing to do with my own late dad. This was Bruford's third release, solo, or actually under the band name Bruford. And it's the first one on which Allan Holdsworth is not playing guitar. He was replaced by the unknown John Clark. Otherwise, the quartet consists of Bill Bruford on drums, percussion, and electric chat, Dave Stewart on keyboards, and Jeff Berlin on bass. This is not the most high-fidelity recording, so it was released as kind of an official bootleg with a catalog number of Brew Boot 28. It is, however, really excellent listening, very energetic fusion jazz rock. This is all instrumental. The first album did include vocals by Annette Peacock, who obviously is not in this band, and the subsequent album to this would include vocals by bassist Jeff Berlin. There is a version, an instrumental version of one of the vocal tracks from Feels Good to Me on here, but not listed in the track listing. It's one of the other tracks goes into a version of Back to the Beginning, which is probably my favorite track from Feels Good to Me, so that's really good to hear. A little dry wit also from Mr. Bruford with the between-song chat, so this is really a good one. Glad to add that to my collection. And since Allan Holdsworth is not on that album, as he had been on the previous Bruford albums, I made up for it by finding this, Allan Holdsworth's IOU from 1982. This was his first official solo album. He had previously made an album for CTI, and he didn't like it. He considered it not a finished session, and it got kind of released without his approval. So this includes some polished up and more interesting, I think, versions of what he was sketching out on that album. This is terrific. Fortunately, the vinyl is in better condition, much better condition than this cover. I almost passed this up because the cover is so worn, but that wouldn't have been prudent because this is a terrific album. It does feature vocals. Paul Williams, the singer who previously worked with Allan Holdsworth in Tempest, no relation to the little singer-songwriter from the 70s, but a singer who is very reminiscent of Jack Bruce. Very appropriate vocal sound for this music. You'll see this doesn't really have a label name. This was a private release. And again, a sort of custom catalog number you'll see on there is AH100, so just Holdsworth's initials. And with that Jack Bruce resemblance in the vocals, sure enough, there are lyrics on one song by Bruce's collaborator Peter Brown. So if you're interested in that sort of Jack Bruce style of very edgy, somewhere on the hard rock side of rock jazz fusion, This is definitely there with just absolutely incredible fluid guitar playing by Holdsworth. Brilliant album. The other musicians besides Holdsworth and Paul Williams are Paul Carmichael on bass and Gary Husband on drums. I saw a version of this band at a club in San Diego back around that time, but it was not the same lineup. They'd had Chad Wackerman on drums, of course, of Frank Zappa fame. Man, Back into the Future, not to be confused with the Nectar album Back to the Future. This is a double LP, part studio, part live. And on the United Artists label, this is from 1973. Very jammy. Man tends to be compared to the San Francisco psychedelic jammy bands like the Grateful Dead and Quicksilver Messenger Service. And in fact, Quicksilver's John Cipollina was a member of Man for a brief period. He's not on this album, though. Tweak Lewis, who played with Wild Turkey, is. Odd thing about this album is the track that I can't pronounce because it's in Welsh. Man is a Welsh band, and there's nothing more Welsh than the male voice choir. Well, they dedicate 3.5 minutes of this album to a song performed by a Welsh male voice choir that really has nothing to do with anything else on the album, but there it is. Some very fine jams, only slightly proggy in parts. There's some interesting synthesizer burbles that pop up here and there. So not really my favorite music, but an enjoyable album. It's actually the only Man I have on vinyl currently, so there you go. Finally, Ralph Towner, Blue Sun, a classic on ECM from 1983. Ralph Towner, of course, the guitarist and secondarily the pianist who played with Oregon. And this is a one-man recording, so he does a lot of overdubbing because it's not just solo guitar. He plays a lot of synthesizer on here. He's got the Prophet 5 producing some sort of spacey synthesizer pads. He plays brass, sometimes with organ. He did play French horn. He plays French horn and cornet on here. He even plays some percussion, so there is a kind of electronic and beat-driven sound to some of it. And it's not quite the classic ECM sound until you get to the last track, the lengthy 11-minute Rumors of Rain, which is absolutely the classic Ralph Towner ECM sound, all reverb-drenched acoustic guitar. Of course, the classic ECM label. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching. I do want to thank the folks who have purchased my own music and remind you that there is a Bandcamp Friday coming up this Friday, September 1st. So if you haven't yet done so, I've got LPs for sale, I've got CDs for sale, I've got Hurtleturtled Out of Heaven, I've got The Insect Garden, I've got Paleozoic, I've got the ones that are only on CD. And thank you to the folks who've ordered. Thank you to Albany, Georgia, and to Dallas, Texas, and to up in Wisconsin. I hope you all enjoy the music because I enjoyed making it and I enjoy listening to it. You know, I hear that, I say, wow, did I do that? Be well. Talk with you again soon. Bye-bye for now. Go to my Bandcamp page and buy those records.